If you're wondering whether it's really worth taking the leap, creating content and putting yourself out there in order to develop a personal brand, then listen on to find out just what can happen when you build authority in your industry. There are 7 huge benefits that can't be overlooked.
Welcome to the Content 10X Podcast, the show where content creators learn how to harness the power of content repurposing. And now, your host, Amy Woods.
Hi, I'm Amy Woods and welcome to this episode of the Content 10X Podcast, where I'm talking about thought leadership and specifically the benefits of creating content and putting yourself out there. Let's talk about standing out in your industry. Some people say developing a personal brand, others say becoming known, some say being a recognized thought leader, and others say the dreaded word influencer. Now, whatever you call it, all of these terms boil down to the same core principle. They're ways to describe strategies to build authority. Now, in particular, I'm talking about people who want to develop a reputation and authority within their industry. Your business, your brand might be part of an oversaturated industry where it's difficult to make waves. You have got to go that extra mile to show your audience what makes you different from your competitors and why they should pay attention to you. So it's really important to build influence, and whilst the term influencer has become a dirty word and can often conjure up scenes of Instagrammers taking perilous photos and hanging out with Z-list celebrities, we should step away from that and recognise that influence is about the power to affect the decisions of others because of a person's authority, knowledge, position, or relationship with their audience. So it's a very, very powerful thing. Now, I prefer the term thought leader as opposed to influencer, and I recommend a thought leadership content strategy. A thought leader is someone who shares their point of view in a way that's interesting and most of all valuable for others. And you become a thought leader, you then grow your influence and your authority. In my opinion, thought leaders need to be sharing one POV, so one point of view, at least once a week. And you're sharing ideas related to what you want to be known for. So each point of view you share should be centered around the core pillars that you want to be recognized for in your industry. And as you share more ideas, you'll build authority with your audience. They'll start to look to you for advice on those topics. And as your following grows, you'll start to be seen as a leader in your niche. In turn, this all builds your personal brand. Yes, it's really hard work. Yes, it's time consuming. And yes, it's a big investment. So is it worth it? I argue it is, and let me share with you the 7 reasons why developing a personal brand and executing on a thought leadership content strategy is worth all of the time, hard work and investment. So number 1, you will reach more people. A thought leadership strategy is content driven. Your content is the proof in the pudding that you know what you're talking about. So it doesn't necessarily matter whether you're sharing your thoughts in video or podcast, blog format, live stream, whatever is the best format and location for you. But creating content consistently will get your message out there and attract more clients to your business. You'll reach more people, and in this connected world that we live in, expecting to become recognized as a leader in your industry without creating and sharing content is really quite unrealistic. Number 2, you will build trust. So sharing your thoughts and appearing in front of people regularly can build a bond of trust between you and your audience. The more people like and trust you, the easier the sales conversation is going to be. People will automatically be more drawn to you and more willing to invest in you when that foundation of trust is there. And if your prospect isn't quite ready to make a buying decision, you could even share some of your content to help them answer questions they may have and make them feel more secure that you are the right person and you do have the knowledge. And of course, your content can repel the people that you don't want to work with as well. So that's just as important as attracting the right people. I believe video is the best form of content for building trust. And to find out more about this concept, check out my video interview with captivating video creator Mike Ganino in episode 159. Number 3, You will attract talent and build a strong team. So nothing is more important to your business than having the right people in your team. And one big benefit of being a recognized thought leader with a strong personal brand is you don't just attract leads, but you also attract the best talent. So people want to work with you.
Hey, just a little break from this podcast episode to ask you a question. Would you like one single place that you can go to that provides you with everything you need to be able to implement the best practices in content repurposing for your video content, your podcast episodes, and your social media content today? To help you get more value from the content that you create, get more time back, and help you reach more people than you ever thought possible. If so, then you are going to love the Content 10x Toolkit. The toolkit is full of video tutorials, templates, checklists, swipe files, step-by-step guides and more that shows you how to repurpose your content in the best ways possible today. No more Googling, no more figuring it out yourself. We provide you with everything that you need to become a content repurposing pro. If this sounds like something that would interest you, then go check out the Content 10x Toolkit at content10x.com/toolkit. Okay, and back to this week's episode.
I have a perfect example of this, and this is completely true story. Last year, I was working with some very costly recruitment agencies to hire some new talent into the team. But actually, I ended up hiring 2 people who hadn't gone through the agencies at all, and they'd found out about Content 10x through my podcast. So it's really funny sometimes the things that content can do for you. And when people apply to work at Content 10x and I ask why they want to work for us, you might be surprised just how many people say it's because of our content. They feel like they already know me, they have a great impression of the business. So content isn't just a magnet for new business, it really can be a magnet for attracting new team members, so really great talent, people who are already interested and invested in your business. Number 4, you will improve credibility. So when you create content and you have a strong personal brand, this helps build your credibility. You're going to be seen as much more authoritative and credible than your competitors who don't do this. Or on the flip side, if you don't share your knowledge and your competitors do, then when someone is making the decision between you and a competitor, they may decide that your competitor seems more credible because of the strong personal brand, which comes back to trust again, going with the person that you trust the most. Now, I really believe that a great way to build credibility through content is to stick to an episodic schedule, which I talk about in episode 171, 7 reasons why you should create episodic content. So do check that episode out if you haven't already. Number 5, more opportunities will arise. Popularity breeds popularity. As more people hear about you and your work, more people will invite you onto their podcasts. You'll be able to do interviews, speak at events, you may get featured in the press. Opportunities to collaborate and participate are always fantastic for getting in front of new audiences and in front of people who wouldn't have ever heard of you otherwise, which in turn might result in even more opportunities. So building a personal brand has so many fringe benefits as well. Number 6, you will be invited to pitch for more work. Now, if you're in the type of industry or business where you need to pitch or tender for work, then it's not always easy to get a foot in the door. When you are known and a recognised authority, more people will want to hear what you can bring to the table, and you'll see a rise in people asking you and inviting you to pitch. And if you have more leads and opportunities, then you'll be more able to pick and choose who you want to work with and not have to deal with clients you don't want to work with anymore. And we all want to be in that fantastic position where we can pick and choose who we work with because there are plenty of opportunities for us. Number 7, winning awards. Industry awards may be considered a vanity metric in some industries and some types of awards, but they can also be an amazing way to be recognised in your industry. You're more likely to get nominated for awards if you are a known authority in your industry, and you might be more likely to win as well. It's one of those vicious circles where just like the rich get richer, the famous become more famous. But if you have the content to prove that you deserve to be a winner, then then what's stopping you from winning the Oscar equivalent in your industry? We have clients who've launched podcasts and started creating more content, and it's led to them being nominated for all sorts of industry awards. They've been invited to events, they've gained all sorts of unexpected accolades, and in turn that has really helped them with their sales and growth as well. So there you have it, the benefits of becoming a personal brand or thought leader in your industry and investing in a thought leadership content strategy. Of course, it is a long game, but is it worth it? Of course it is. I've seen it work time and time again. And if you want to achieve these things, you don't have to go it alone either. Do reach out to us at Content 10x if you want to make this a reality, but don't have lots of time to work on your content. Now, I promise you the benefits far outweigh the investment over time. So there you have it. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of the Content 10x podcast. I really do appreciate it. And as I mentioned, at Content 10x, we offer a fully end-to-end content repurposing service. So don't hesitate to get in touch with us if you would like help. And also, if you don't have a copy of my book yet, then head on over to content10x.com/book and get yourself a copy. All that's left to say is thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that discussion, and thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoy the Content 10x podcast, then why not hit that subscribe button on your podcast listening app of choice so that you can get updated when new episodes are released. And I'd really, really appreciate it if you could leave a review as well. That really makes a difference for the podcast. Also, please do get a copy of my book, Content 10x, More Content, Less Time, Maximum Results. It is the ultimate guide to repurposing every type of content, and it's available on Amazon in Kindle and paperback, and also in audiobook as well. And you can head to content10x.com/book to find all the other places that you can get a copy of my book. And if you would like us to do your content repurposing for you, then we offer a fully end-to-end done for you content repurposing service. This is for podcasters and video content creators. We have our Podcast 10x, Video 10x, and also our specific LinkedIn 10x service, helping you to become the leading authority in your industry on LinkedIn. You can find out so much more about our services on our website. And also, please do give me a follow on the social media platforms. I share lots and lots of tips and advice on social media about content repurposing. I'm at Content 10x on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and if you try content10x.com/LinkedIn, you'll find my LinkedIn profile over there as well. All that's left to say is thank you so much for listening to this week's episode, and I'll catch you in the next one.